James Naismith invented this remarkable sport we play today, basketball. He was born on November 6, 1861, in Ontario, Canada, to Scottish immigrants Margaret Young and John Naismith. He was the oldest of 3 children. His siblings were Annie and Robbie Naismith. His parents got a very rare disease called typhoid fever and didn't have the medicines to be cured. Sadly, they soon passed away. Therefore, he was orphaned at the young age of 9. His grandma took custody of him soon after. Later, she died of natural causes. So he was brought up by his Uncle Peter. During school, James was very good at physical education, but as he grew up, he became very intelligent. He attended McGill University and Presbyterian College, earning a bachelor's degree in physical education. James started working as the athletics director at McGill University after he graduated college. In 1890, he was offered a job at the YMCA and took it. When James went to the YMCA International Training Center, he was tasked to a huge job. Naismith was told to create an indoor sport that would catch the attention and interest of young students and athletes during the frigid winters that year in Massachusetts, although he only had 14 days. This was perfect for James because when growing up, he always was making up games to play. Using elements from other popular sports, he invented the game of basketball in 1891. At first, there were only 13 basic rules, not including dribbling. There were 2 peach baskets as the goals and a soccer ball to play with. The students enjoyed it much more than James had originally expected. A couple of years later, on June 20th, 1890, James married Maud Sherman. They had 5 children together. They were John, Helen, Maud, James, and Margaret. Naismith's abilities caught the attention of Kansas University, or KU. In 1890, he was hired to coach basketball, teach PE, and serve as a chaplain there. Once he brought the popularity to KU, the sport blew up across the country. People loved the game and were getting very serious with it. Eventually, the game was so popular that it was brought to the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, Germany. James Naismith was there to support basketball players and hand out medals to the North American countries. The U.S. placed first for the gold, Mexico for second, and Canada placed third. James had a sad death, but left a great legacy. In 1939, he was detected with a severe brain hemorrhage. 9 days later, on November 28, 1939, he died. He was 78 at his home in Lawrence, Kansas. He is a member of 10 different Hall of Fames, including the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame and the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. In 1946, the NBA, National Basketball Association, was made. James Naismith left a great legacy. The sport went from 2 peach baskets and a soccer ball to a game people all around the world play for fun and for their job. Now 26 million people around the world play basketball. It is the second most played sport in the world. James Naismith wasn't stopped by a tough childhood. He never gave up.